Most people consider freedom of speech their right to express their own opinion and to have other people listen to their own opinion. I think it was Walter Lippmann who made the point clear that freedom of speech has to include the obligation to actually listen to other people's opinions. If we abuse freedom of speech just to express our own opinion, then we're really just taking advantage of a right. We're not being responsible. Freedom of speech is just as much about listening to other people's viewpoints as it is about the right to express your own viewpoint. If you don't actually listen to other people's viewpoints, this in itself is a form of self-censorship. Normally we think of self-censorship as me not saying something, for example, mentioning the Holocaust, because doing so would get me put in prison in Germany, and it would get this video banned. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the Holocaust, and you're not going to know my opinion about the Holocaust because of the censorship laws. Now, that is traditionally what we think of as self-censorship. But self-censorship really goes much wider than that, goes much further than that. Because one part of self-censorship is where you decide, because you have the right to, not to listen to other people. So when you decide yourself censors other people. You don't need to have a government censoring people if you yourself have decided that you won't listen to other people's opinions. So this is some part of censorship which most people don't think about. So self-censorship isn't just me not telling you what's on my mind, fear of negative consequences. Self-censorship is also not listening to other people's points of view, not listening to other people, not taking the time to consider other people's ideas. And this brings us to the point of opinions. It's very interesting to hear other people's opinions. It's very interesting to get an idea of the wide range of opinions people have. It can be very entertaining. We can be very surprised. Often we hear things which shock us. So just listening to other people's opinions in itself can be fascinating. As a philosopher, I'm interested in other people's opinions. As a sociologist, I need to know other people's opinions in order to communicate with them. As a communicator, of course, the sociologist is interested in comparing other people's opinions and comparing the opinions that people have and trying to find out why they came to this opinion. How come they have this opinion? What this opinion is based on? Is it based on where they grew up? Is it based on their religion? Is it based on their socioeconomic class? The actual communicator, the marketer, person trying to sell something, these people want to know your opinions, basically so that they can pretend to share this opinion. That's what Donald Trump did. That's what Alex Jones did. They've pretended to be people just like you, who shared your opinions, your definitions of reality, your views of the world. Cambridge Analytica, for example, have been data mining all the posts that you put on every social media for the last 10 years or so. So they know exactly what your opinion is about everything. And when they choose to, they can pretend to share your opinion. So that's one part of the marketing aspect of opinions. The other is that for feedback, to find out what people's opinion is of you, or their opinion is of your product, or their opinion is of your political party, or their opinion is of the person paying you lots and lots of money to find out what people think about you. Find out whether false representations made by Donald Trump and Alex Jones have gained traction or not. It's one thing to present lies, it's another thing to find out, to discover whether people are believing them. So research on public opinion basically comes down to those two things. To find out what people are thinking so that you can manipulate them and pretend to be thinking like them, to build rapport, to build trust, to get elected, to sell products, to sell ideas. And the other is to find out whether all your expensive strategy has been paying dividends, to discover whether your con job, your manipulation, your attempts to mislead people are being effective or not. Find out if your propaganda is actually working. Myself, as a philosopher, the reason I'm interested mostly in opinions is to be able to communicate with you, to see things from your point of view and understand you, and thus be in a position to frame what I have to say for you. Not to manipulate you, but to empower you, to inform you. If I don't know what you think, it's very hard for me to work out what things need correcting. I know that sounds arrogant, but it's a fact. There's no way to correct misunderstanding unless you already know what the misunderstanding is. And you can spend hours talking to people, wasting your time because you didn't understand where they are coming from. You didn't understand what definitions of reality they had. You didn't understand what erroneous ideas they had. You didn't know what motivates them. You didn't know why they think what they think. And this is my point. I'm interested not so much in your opinions, but in how you came to those opinions, how you came to form those opinions, why you believe what you believe, how you came to these conclusions. Because this is what we do as philosophers. We interrogate our own opinions, our own beliefs, our own assumptions. Philosopher, interrogate thyself. That's the rule number one. Most people don't do this, not even over the course of their entire lives. There are people who are proud of the fact that they have never changed their opinions about anything, which leads us to the question of, where do most people's opinions come from? What are most people's opinions based on? Why do most people believe what they believe? And the answer is hearsay. Most people hear something, think it sounds okay, and believe it, and then they say the same thing to other people. They hear it, they say it. The Bible is pure hearsay, but people take it as an authority because the writers claimed that they were writing with the authority of Moses and God. It's transferred authority. The hearsay of the Torah and the Bible in the New Testament is granted the authority of no less than God himself. Imagine that. It's a bit of a giveaway to anybody who wants people to listen to them. All you have to do is claim that it's not me speaking, I'm speaking for God. Some angels spoke to me, and I'm telling you what these angels told me. God appeared before me. I'm telling you what God told me to tell you. This is pretty compelling, right? But when you come down to it, it's just somebody telling you something and pretending that God said this, that some angel said this, because they knew that you would not listen otherwise. Most people today get their beliefs, their ideas, their opinions from the mass media, from schools, and maybe from the occasional interaction with a person they listen to. It's very rare for people to listen to other people's opinions. People like to hear their own opinions reflected back to them. They love to find a book so that they can show it to their friends to support their own beliefs, which means they look for books which say what they already believe. Few people look for a book which contradicts what they believe, and most people want to be around people who think the same as they do. So people like myself find themselves quite isolated. It's one thing to face 11-year prison sentences and bankruptcy. That's pretty bad in itself. Can you imagine not being able to find a single friend, a single person who agreed with you, a single person who wanted to be around you? Then imagine if people thought you were some sort of wacko weirdo, simply because what you believed was very different to what they believed, simply because they were believing the propaganda and you had discovered that this propaganda was lies. So I basically did this so that you could hear my voice, make a decision whether you thought you'd want to hear more of it, or if you think I should stick to using the computer-generated voice. I don't like talking. My mouth gets dry very quickly. I'm not a natural talker. Though I talk too much, that's a different thing. But I tend to speak too fast. I tend not to enunciate my words. I'm a lazy speaker. But I made a little effort this time. So if you take anything from this, it's the idea that we need to start asking people, why do you believe that? Get other people to start thinking, now why do I believe that? How did I come to this conclusion? Am I just repeating something somebody told me? Do I have any real basis for what I believe? Have I checked the facts myself? How many of my beliefs are actually based on first-hand experience and direct sensory impressions? Can I trust what I've been told by other people? We need to interrogate ourselves, and we need to encourage other people to start questioning themselves, to start asking, why do I believe what I believe? What are my beliefs based on? Because ultimately, most of our beliefs are based on pure hearsay. And once we start interrogating our own beliefs, we find that most of our beliefs do not really hold up to interrogation. We discover all these assumptions we have made, for which we have no justification. Then we find there are assumptions hidden within our assumption, and that basically our entire belief system is based on assumptions. Assumptions that we made ourselves, or assumptions that other people made. So it's time to get people thinking about why they believe what they believe. Just telling people what you believe may interest them, but what is more important is telling them, explaining to them why you believe it. Because those of us in the genuinely uncontrolled alternate media have investigated things for longer and more intensely than the people that we will be interacting with. Most of us, up to a few years ago, believed the same things that other people believed. And we have to remember how hard and long a struggle it was to come to the point where we are now. And we have to put ourselves in the shoes of the people we are talking to. If somebody had have come up to me 5 years ago and stated as their opinion the things I've written in my books, I probably would have thought that they were a little wacko. Because the thing is, the truth is very strange. It's a stranger to us. It's unfamiliar. We use the word Familiar is synonymous with known. We know what we know. It's familiar, and we are smug and complacent in what we know. We imagine what we know is superior to what other people know. Why? Well, because we are us. And we are all smart, aren't we? We all know better. So, next time you ask people their opinion, or express your own opinion, remember to ask them why they believe that. Ask them how they came to that opinion. Ask them how they formed that opinion. And then explain to them how you came to your conclusions. Anyone can have an opinion. But there is a huge difference between an opinion and a compelling argument. If you want to learn how to formulate a compelling argument, or even to understand what a compelling argument is, please get a copy of my first publication, Trunatnor Volume 1. You can download all my books at no cost at all to you from my Trunatnor Patreon page, and from WordPress and other places that you may discover on the web. You don't have to pay a cent. You don't have to pay anything. I've already paid the cost for you. But if you would like to support me, if you would like to reciprocate my work, my risk, my effort, then please simply use my marcusrayback@yahoo.com PayPal account, or email me. You can find my address all over the web. You can find my books on the web. The problem is most of the links that exist are all dead links. I had my books banned by almost every retailer after 1 or 2 books were banned. These were the books relating to the New World Order and the Holocaust. Amazon decided just to ban the books and the New World Order to allow me to continue distributing my other books through them. But every other retailer decided to ban all my books. I've recently uploaded some of my books to different new services. Interestingly enough, the books banned all over the world are currently available in China through this new service. Quite possibly this new service will also blacklist me. If you check now, you will see 26 of my titles available, but tomorrow it could possibly be that none of my books are available. Anyway, not here to complain. I'm here to suggest to you that in future, you listen to other people and ask them why they believe what they believe. Usually you will find that their sources are vague, that they have no real justification for what they believe, and that when it comes down to it, most people's opinions are based on hearsay. They hear something, they say it. I personally am not so much interested in your opinions but as to why you believe what you believe. This is what is important to a philosopher, but as I said, in order to be effective as a philosopher, we have to find out what people currently believe and why they believe it, so we can help them correct any errors in their logic, faulty assumptions, and hopefully offer them superior assumptions and superior logic. Please get a copy of my latest work, Entertaining Beliefs. At the end of the day, we should believe nothing. We should entertain every possible belief, and we should act according to the most compelling arguments we are presented with. We should never believe anything. What I mean is we should never believe anything as dogma, as an article of faith. We should only ever entertain beliefs. We should be willing to change our beliefs anytime we come across more compelling argument. Again, please refer to my Trunatnor Volume 1 for details on what a compelling argument is. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all happy next lives. Feel free to contact me. Feel free to offer any support you can offer. And feel free to take my Welcome to the New World Order books and seed them as torrents, re-upload them, repost them. But I would like you to respect the copyright on my other books, because it would be nice at some point in the future to be actually compensated for my effort, sacrifice and risk like any other worker. But please feel free to download and repost and seed any of the Welcome to the New World Order books. There is a trilogy, 9/11, 5 Minutes to Midnight, and Part 2, Dein Kampf, and Part 3, Occupied. Then there is the prequel, The Cult, and the 5th book, Entertaining Beliefs.